This is an over $1 million Porsche 918 Spyder, and it can run on battery power or shoot flames. How is this made by humans and not extraterrestrials? I'm going to show you the difference between this $250,000 Porsche, a $100,000 Porsche, all the way down to a $1 Porsche 356. This is an Urban Outlaw Porsche 356 designed by Magnus Walker. It is an incredible machine, and there is only one problem with it. I can't ride in it, as for $1 I was able to get this Hot Wheels car that can fit in my hand. But what if we throw $300 at the problem? Can that get you a Porsche that you could actually drive? I risked my life to buy my first Porsche for just over $200 nearly 20 years ago in a bad part of Oakland, California. With inflation, that same car would cost just over $300 in today's money. When I picked up the car, it quickly became evident why it was only $200. It leaked so much oil that it must have had a free flow oil filter. No. The driver's door only opened from the inside, and most of the interior and paint needed a lot of work. To top it off, about halfway back home, the headlight switch broke in half as I tried to turn it on as it became dark. This forced me to have to tow the car the rest of the way home, which cost more than the car itself. The car needed so much work that I eventually donated it for the $500 tax write-off. That was the $300 Porsche. Later in this video, we have a $100,000 Porsche, a $250,000 Porsche, and a $1 million hybrid supercar Porsche. But before that, we have the $15,000 Porsche, which is more practical than you would expect in a small sports car. You get a small trunk and back as well as a good-sized frunk. It's perfect for a weekend getaway or a grocery trip. This is thanks to the mid-engine layout similar to exotic supercars. In a straight line, this 1999 Porsche Boxster isn't going to win many drag races against modern sports cars. But find a good road with some curves and you may have found heaven on earth. It even allows for a wind in your hair experience. That is, of course, assuming you have hair. So now we're going to the $20,000 Porsche. For the extra $5,000, you get an extra 100 horsepower, back seats, oh, and this particular one is missing a third pedal, making it a bit more affordable. This Porsche and the last one look almost identical from the front of the doors forward. The bumper and the fixed roof are really the only differences from a style standpoint. It drives differently than the Boxster, with the engine hanging out back instead of in the middle. The result is tons of traction coming out of a corner. This Porsche is a 1999 911. The 911 is the model that Porsche is best known for, although many don't like this particular generation's headlights or interior. The good news is that those headlights and interior have helped make it the most affordable Porsche 911 generation on the current used car market. And this is the fastest Porsche that we've seen so far. Well, just wait until you see the next one, as it's much faster. But before we do that, if you're looking to buy or sell an enthusiast car, check out our Ride Life listings. The link is in the description, so on to the next Porsche. Because this is much quicker, you'll need to keep your eye on your speed on public roads, or a police officer will happily tell you your speed on a nice piece of paper. This is the latest, just over $100,000 Porsche 911 Carrera, and nearly 25 years does make quite a difference. Where the previous Porsche had minimal computer management and safety systems, this Porsche is modern. That means that you don't get digital displays from the 90s, but you get modern display screens for the instruments and infotainment system. Oh, and did I mention that it's pretty fast? Thanks to twin turbochargers, it can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.8 seconds. The old 911 was fast in its day, but in that same time, it would only be at about 40 miles per hour. And if you think that's fast, the $250,000 Porsche is a race car that you can drive on the street legally. The latest 911 GT3 RS has a wing big enough to launch a rocket, and aerodynamic fins and air intakes all over the place. Depending on where you live, owning a normal 911 probably won't get you much attention. But the aggressive styling of the GT3 RS will turn plenty of heads. 0 to 60 miles per hour is almost a full second faster than the new 911 Carrera at 3 seconds flat, and the Carrera isn't exactly slow. Of course, a Porsche isn't just about straight line performance, and the Porsche 911 GT3 RS can take corners faster than most cars on the road. But it is the track where the 911 GT3 RS is meant to be. If you have the budget for one, you're going to feel like Lewis Hamilton every time you get behind the wheel. And we finally get to the over $1 million Porsche 918 Spyder. It is part of the supercar Holy Trinity, and as such is one of the collection centerpieces of anyone with enough cash to own one. When you think of a hybrid, you probably think of something boring like a Toyota Prius. But the 918 Spyder, along with the McLaren P1 and Ferrari LaFerrari, turned that thought upside down. It's the perfect car for those that want their wealthy, environmentally conscious friends to like them while still enjoying the joys of the internal combustion engine. You can tell them that you have a plug-in hybrid that can take short trips on just battery power. But we all know that race mode calls, as does the music of that top-mounted exhaust. In spite of the fact that the 918 Spyder was produced back in 2015, there still isn't much that can touch its performance. 0 to 60 miles per hour comes in just 2.5 seconds, and the top speed is 214 miles per hour. Those brave enough to risk a car worth over $1 million on the track will run circles around just about everything. It is the stuff of legend, and if I won the lottery, it would definitely be in my garage. Of course, to win the lottery, I have to play the lottery, unless that email isn't a scam.